Enchanted Dream by me. Growing up, I have always been a shy kid. I was very quiet and couldn't make friends easily. If I did make friends, it was because I was introduced by someone else to that friend. I hardly ever talked in class. I was the shy, quiet kid. I knew this hindered a lot of my experiences for me, but it didn't bother me that much. I continued to go through my day-to-day routine, known as a shy kid, and no one bothered me and I didn't bother them. I believe my shyness stemmed from not having any confidence within myself. I was afraid to say the wrong thing at the wrong time or afraid of being judged for being myself. I had got home from school. My dad had asked me, "Hey, how was school, honey?" The usual dad. I'm going to my room. I love my dad, but sometimes he could get a little too intrusive in my life. And that's when I locked myself in my four walls where I could relax and be the truest version of myself. I loved to paint and be creative, and my drawings felt magical, as if the drawing could come to life and jump out of the picture. As I'm painting on a small 4x4 canvas, I decided to draw a dragon near a beachside shore. I began to imagine myself far away from this place, from everyone and everything. Suddenly, I'm writing a big, black, scaly creature with monstrous wings in between white, soft clouds. The feeling is impeccable. The gentle breeze hitting my face, carrying the scent of a rose. Reality hits me. Hold on. I'm writing a dragon. How is this possible? I quickly started to panic, my face glancing around, not focusing on anything, eyes widened in alarm. The dragon looks up at me with his precious doll eyes. You ready for this? I tilted my head in confusion and my heart dropped as the dragon dipped from the clouds near the beach shore. The dragon began to lower its wings and drop me in the sand. My queen, there has been intruders into Serene Land. I couldn't believe this. I became flustered. Why me? I thought to myself. I couldn't appear weak. If I was the queen, I couldn't show any weakness. I held my head high. You may speak. Who? They are human, just like you. We will find them and bring them to you. Go on, bring them to me. We must not allow this to happen again. As I look around, Serene Land's sand is softly golden with just the right comforting warmth. The views feel ethereal. A pink cotton candy sky, and I see a palace standing tall and gorgeously designed. The palace gave an elegant vibe, grand and majestic. I held all the power here. I never wanted to leave. I was powerless back home, a nobody. I walked into the palace, guards opening the door. My ego gets higher. I sit on the gold throne, covered in sparkling jewels. The dragon comes into the gates of the palace, bringing 2 kids, all of my siblings. My siblings standing in front of me. They did not recognize me. In Serene Land, they did not know me. My 2 younger siblings, Christopher and Hannah. My biggest headaches and my biggest treasures. I don't know how they got here. How could they? Now I'm expected to execute them, and my soul can't allow that. I must think of another way. Surely they must have accidentally wandered off into Serene Land. We can't let them go. As I motion my hand for the dragon and my siblings to be dismissed. Ma'am, you know we can't not allow that. We must follow the rules of our ancient ancestors. We are not aware of the consequences this may occur. Listen, I said we will let them go. The dragon hung his head low, obeyed my orders, and went on his way, taking the children through a hidden exit. This exit was off the grid, and no one knew about it except myself and the dragon, which I soon came to find out was named Hex. I did not accompany Hex as I was too afraid to blur something out and ruin my identity. Hex enters the palace. It has been taken care of. The children have been returned back home. I am still uneasy of this. My queen. This may cause some serious issues. I stood up from my throne and looked around the palace, the sound of my heels hitting the thin glass floor. I know what I'm doing, giving Hex a stark stare. I started to overthink as Hex walked away. What have I got myself into? I began to pace back and forth. I felt overwhelmed, my mind going in a million directions. Suddenly I hear loud thumps, getting closer and closer to the palace. With each step the floor shook, the dazzling jewels falling from the throne. The palace gates flung open. I am facing a hideous creature. This creature is a giant with one eye, loud, extraordinarily strong, murderous, and violent. What is this I hear? We have let intruders go with no execution? He screams and the palace rumbles. Pardon me, I am not sure what you're speaking of, I say as I try to not let the fear take over my face and body. If you do not speak the truth, I will kill you. I will not repeat myself twice. There is nothing that I am hiding. Make it harder for me, fine. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. Thump, thump, thump are the sounds he makes while he walks towards me. Facing the Cyclops, my limbs felt heavy. My chest began to burn. A cold pit formed in my stomach. This was it for me. At least I protected Christopher and Hannah. They are my world. Boom! That's when Christopher and Hannah barge into the palace and whip out their long swords, stabbing the Cyclops multiple times. No fear were in their eyes. They had one target and one goal. The Cyclops groaned in pain each time he was stabbed, fighting Christopher and Hannah as much as he could. He stood no chance. They were a force to be reckoned with. The Cyclops falls on his side, causing the palace to tremble. I run to my siblings. Thank you for saving me. You will be rewarded a good prize. Still trying to hide my identity. They looked at me with no remorse. They still didn't recognize me. Christopher says, "You are an evil queen. Sereneland deserves better than you." Before I could answer, I felt a stabbing pain in my heart. I gasped. The sharp needle bolts through my body. My jaw clenched so hard that it ached. As I inhale, another flash of pain goes through me. "Wake up, dinner's ready," Hannah says as she shakes me out of my sleep. Phew, I thought I was an evil queen for a second, I whispered to myself.